Welcome back, listeners, to a Simple Times podcast, episode number 26. Of course, just like every other episode, we start out with the Simple Times Shoutouts. We have a fake ad on this episode. We had some issues on the last two fake ads. Andrew will tell us what happened on those. Andrew's got a crazy story about his manhood. We got Sometimes News, jokes with Jefe, a few other bullshit stuff in between. So let's go right into it. Sometimes Podcast, episode number 26. Andy becomes a man? Huh. Okay, let's get to it.
Episode 26. Man, we're just on a roll.
We are. But before we get rolling anymore,
yes.
we have the big news to introduce to the listeners, which is, Andrew, please.
So, our studio, which we call Beach House Studios, is going to be changing name
Yet again, for the third time.
For the last time, hopefully. So, quick history. When we started off, we were known as Back House Studios.
Back House Studios, back at your parents' house because it was in the back house.
My dad's house, in the back house, hence Back House Studios, where the podcasting magic
that's where all the
began.
magic started, yeah.
Everything started. And then it transitioned to Beach House Studios because, well, I live in Redondo Beach, and, well, it's no secret, the studio is basically my garage.
Now, the question that I do have, did we call it Beach House back when you were on Voorhees? I can't remember if we did that or not.
I don't remember. And I forgot, we did move.
Yeah.
The podcast did have some life at my apartment on Voorhees in North Redondo.
Yeah. But I can't remember if we called it Beach House or not. That's weird.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow.
Yeah.
Beach House Studios will be changing name to...
Drum roll, please.
Beach Glass Studios.
Yes.
So...
And...
The reason why, you want to explain, Marcelo?
So, we wanted to keep the beach themed. Like he said, we are in Redondo Beach, so we wanted to create that. And also, he was saying that when he was going through a random band name generator for his band.
Oh yeah.
There was another name that came out with the word glass in it.
Oh yeah. Let me.
Yeah. Did you want to go further into it?
Real quick.
Okay,
It's a quick thing.
Let's go.
So when I was jamming with my college buddies back in the day, when I had my band, we didn't know what to name our band. That's like the hardest thing to do. And so we went online, and there was a random band name generator.
Yeah.
And then our band was so close to being called this name. You ready? Afternoon of the Glass Pants.
I'll be honest, I'm glad that it didn't, because that does sound like one of those really head up their ass kind of folk bands.
All right. I could see that. But what stuck to me was the idea of glass pants.
Yeah.
For some reason, that just tickled my fancies, and I'm like, I love that name. Too bad we didn't go for it, but I did have the idea of maybe one day starting a studio, like an actual recording studio, and calling it Glass Pants Records.
Right.
Because I just love the glass pants part of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a contradiction, so to speak.
Yeah. And I mean that it is a cool name. I'm not saying it isn't, but I didn't want to show any kind of, disrespect, I guess you could say, towards you and your bandmates for creating that. In case you guys wanted to do something with that name, you guys can do it with that name. So then it clicked on me. And actually, we can actually give Liz thanks, because she collects beach glass. Beach glass is a thing. A lot of people collect the beach glass. And what beach glass is, if nobody knows, it's literally just random pieces of glass that you find on the beach. I believe there is even like natural stuff, because essentially sand is unmelted glass. You melt sand, you heat it up, and it forms glass. So I don't know if I'm not 100% sure if there's any natural beach glass.
Or is it like broken bottle glass that have eroded so much that
It could be too.
become round.
It could be too, and you know, it might be all of that. You know, because I mean, who knows? Really, I'm sure they're probably. I'm sure we can Google it and look, but why stop now? And so, but then the kind of beautiful meaning behind that is, you could find random pieces on the beach, and almost like our podcast, we just bring random stuff, you know, to the studio, and then even more poetic than that, a lot of people grab that beach glass and they make mosaics. So they make art from random things they find on the beach, which, if you ask me, is kind of what we do here. We bring together random pieces of stuff and we make art.
I 100% agree. I do think this is art, and I've thought about this, and we're off on a tangent here, but who cares? This is our podcast. We can do whatever we want. But just like random pieces of art, I believe podcasting, or at least the way I approach our podcast, I think it is an art form because we do a little acting, we do a little I think speaking is an art form.
Oh yeah,
so
it can be.
I kind of like
Definitely.
using this podcast to try to formulate my words and just be a better speaker, because that's one of the most scariest things that people do is like public speaking.
That is the number one fear. People fear that more than death itself.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think it's because maybe you feel like you have to prove yourself to people or something. But anyway, I see this podcast as me being creative,
right?
And hopefully, that shows off as you listeners are listening to this. So, yeah,
well, we got 26 episodes of art.
I agree, and I think these later episodes are the best that we've ever created.
Best so far,
absolutely. And I'm just really proud of everything that we're doing. So, all that to say, Beach House Studios will be no more. We're moving to Beach Glass Studios. Welcome to the Simple Times podcast.
Just don't throw stones, please.
No stone throwing. Yeah. We don't want to crumple into a million pieces and have shattered glass in our eyes.
Nope. But going back to what you said about, being proud and listeners and all that stuff.
Yes.
I believe we have some simple shout-outs.
Yes, we do, Marcelo. Thank you for that. We have simple shout-outs. This is the part where we just look at our notifications because some of you guys commented, wrote to us, and here we are giving it to you. So the first one that we received is from none other than our biggest fan, your beautiful mother, Marcelo,
who's in the Bahamas right now as we record this. What today? March 29th. So we are the weekend of Easter.
Yes, and lucky for her. Wow, the Bahamas. I've been there. It's fun. On a cruise.
And that's what she's actually there on.
Lucky
she's on a
her.
cruise. She flew from LA to Florida on Tuesday, spent the night in Florida, in Miami, I think it was, for the night. And then they hopped on the boat and headed in the Bahamas. She'll be back next week.
Miss Ann, if you're listening to this one, I am so jealous. I am so jealous. But thank you for this comment that you posted on Spotify. And she responded to our... She responded to our St. Patrick's Day Simple Sessions.
Oh, boy.
And she writes, Andrew, what's a shillelagh? And so, I had to think about it. I'm like, what is a shillelagh? Marcelo threw this word around throughout the podcast several times, which you guys, if you haven't listened to St. Patrick's Day, I've got to say, Marcelo knocked it out of the park. It was amazing.
Well, if I remember correctly, I don't think I was the one that threw it around a lot. I think it was between me and my long distance cousin Patty.
Yeah,
that was throwing it around a lot.
Patty did throw it around a lot. If you haven't listened to the St. Patrick's Day special or Simple Sessions, you will meet Marcelo's cousin all the way from Ireland,
from Dublin. Yep,
he joined us for a special segment.
Yep,
and not only that. If you listen to the end of the episode, we did feature him to read our fake ad for that episode.
Yep.
He did a fantastic job.
He did, but we did run into some issues that we'll talk about a little later when we get into
get
into today's ad.
Right, that's coming up shortly. But so going back to shillelagh and what the meaning is and what it is.
Yep.
I heard you talking about. I had an idea about what it was, Marcelo.
Yeah.
But I just looked this up, and for those of you wondering, a shillelagh is a wooden walking stick and club or cudgel typically made from a stout, knotty blackthorn stick with a large knob at the top. And I'm like, I did not know this. It's pretty cool. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I think that Patty and Marcella were throwing this word around in kind of a naughty way. Am I right? Or am I right?
Shillelagh, from what I've heard in multiple movies, music, and comedy and all that stuff, it's the dick. That's how,
okay,
to put it very, very simple, very, very blunt. Yeah,
you heard it here first, folks. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and good night. It was nice having your attention for about 10 minutes.
Hey, that's a record.
And everybody is now going over to Joe Rogan's podcast. Thanks, Marcelo.
They may not leave yet, but they some might leave towards the end. But yeah, we'll get to that. Get to that later.
No. Thank you for joining us, you listeners. And I do have some more simple shout outs.
All right.
For this one, I need to put on my new spectacles. Look what I have here, Marcelo.
Oh, look at that.
I went to the optometrist.
Boy, 34 is hitting you hard, huh?
Yeah, man. 35. I'm 35.
Oh, you're 35?
Yeah, I just remembered.
I was gonna say, I asked you earlier. I was like, you're 34 now, and you're like, no.
Well,
like,
you got to remember, once you turn 35, 34, it all kind of blends together.
Yeah.
I don't know how old I am anymore.
Yeah.
I just say, I'm 30 something.
Yeah.
Or other.
Yeah, nobody really pays attention until you're 50, and then 65, and then dead.
So yeah, my wife asked me to get my eyes checked out, and I did. I got some new glasses.
Are those Warby Parkers?
No,
okay.
They're just some cheapo ones that I found. Anyway, what do you think of my glasses?
I like that. Was it tortoiseshell?
Yeah,
Is that what the color's
tortoiseshell.
called? Yeah, I'm starting to like that color more.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm glad you like it.
They're simple. They're basic. They're simple for the Simple Times podcast. So.
Yeah. Well, it's going to help me read these comments off
right.
of YouTube. For you new listeners, we are on YouTube now.
And I do got to be a little honest. I've actually had reading glasses since I was like 19, so I can't really say much.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So going here to YouTube Studio is where I could find our comments. This one's from my little brother Mark. You know, he's a new listener, and thanks to him, we got our show on YouTube. So now you can listen to our show on YouTube.
That's what I was going to bring up. I was like, because of him, we are on YouTube.
And his first comment from our Balls and Beats episodes, he says, "So glad you guys are on YouTube." Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And then he left us a comment on St. Patrick's Day Simple Sessions. He says, let me make sure my eyes are straight. Let me see. He says, first. I wonder what that could mean.
I don't.
It must be very deep.
Maybe he's trying to say that, or he's trying to ask if Patty's my first cousin. Because no, he's not.
Oh,
he's not my first cousin.
He's not your first cousin.
No.
First.
That's not the first time I've heard shillelagh. First. Could it? Do you think we're oversimplifying it, and it could just mean that he's the first comment?
I didn't even think about that. He was the first commenter. Well, okay, well, good for him.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, it do. All right, well, I think that's about it. Oh, you know what, Marcelo?
Oh, and one thing, speaking of Mark, because I don't really remember what you look like. I'm gonna be honest, because I think I met you for the first time at your brother's wedding. If you're listening to this and you see me at work, say what's up. So this way I know who or I remember who you are. I know you're over on the other side of the building, I believe, because Santi has told me that you are over that way. And I think your inspector in your area is a guy named Fernando who started the same day I did. He was in my orientation class. So if you see Fernando, tell Marcelo, say what's up. Hopefully he remembers me. And then yeah, come on by. If you see Santi walk over to his old area, follow him. I'm over in the same area that he used to work. So yeah, you're more than welcome to come over on lunch.
Yeah, Marcelo doesn't bite.
Not at all.
But he does bark.
Yeah.
Oh, so another last thing for the simple shout outs. This has been a long segment. Is I got this email and I didn't recognize the email sender.
Oh, really? Well, okay. What did you open the email? Did you read it?
I skimmed through it, but it just didn't look official. I don't know. I just didn't know who it was, so I didn't. I took it with a grain of salt.
What did it say, or what? What do you remember?
Something about trying to collaborate or trying to start something new.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I'll forward you the email and
do
maybe
do you think it's like a spam thing or something, or
it might be spam. I don't know how it got through.
Okay,
but yeah. Do you remember those emails where people would use the text and certain characters to drop pictures?
Oh yeah.
Towards the bottom, when I scroll down, there was a picture of a house, and it kind of looked like something out of a haunted house story,
like a Lovecraftian novel or something.
Something bizarre, but they use the slashes and the dots and the parentheses to create like just like remember
like
back
image.
in the day in the early 2000s.
Oh yeah.
Send those spam messages.
I was never able to do those, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
they're impressive though.
Yeah, they are. Take a lot of time.
I could do the whale with the eyes and the underscore.
Yeah.
What do they call that one? I don't know whale, but the
I don't know what they called it, but I know what you're talking about though.
But anyway, so this was it looked like a haunted house.
Okay.
And I didn't understand it, so I just deleted it.
Okay.
But anyway, that did come into our email. And if you guys are listening and want to write to us and send us a message, a question, a comment, email us at simpletimespodcast@gmail.com, and we will feature you on Simple Shoutouts.
All right, and that I believe concludes our simple shoutouts for this episode.
Yes, it does.
So, before the episode started, Andrew was telling me that, or we had forgotten to check the status of our money, our check from the previous fake ads, or I'm sorry, from the previous ads that we've done from the fake ad agency.
Right.
Because I haven't seen any money from the Valentine's one that we did, Valentine.com. That's what it was called, correct?
Right. Valentine Online.
ValentineOnline.com. Okay.
That was from the episode we put out in February for Valentine's Day.
I believe that was don't be Cupid. Don't be stupid Cupid.
You can't fix Cupid.
You can't fix Cupid. And then I still haven't seen the money from the St. Patrick's ad that we had.
Well, I have an explanation for all that.
Oh boy.
So, I was wondering if they were going to send us a check, because when we do these fake ads from the fake ad agency.
Right. And they keep saying that they will send us a check, but there's always something. Yeah.
Which, I could use that money.
Me too.
I had to buy cheap glasses.
Yeah.
I wish I could have gotten the
Prada
brands.
Yeah.
Something. But anyhow, I emailed them and I said, hey, what's going on? Marcel did a fantastic ad read.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked him, what's the status? We did the Valentine Online, and they got back to me, and they said, oh, there was a problem. The ad was for ValentineOnline.com, but Marcelo kept saying ValentinesOnline.com. So
because of the S, we're shit out of luck.
Yes. They claim that all the traffic that should have gone to the company we're promoting went to this other company.
That is understandable, because I've done that too when typing in addresses. Like for example, when I was trying to pay off the credit card bill for my tires that I got, it's through mysynchrony.com. That's the credit company. I was forgetting the H in Synchrony, and it was taking me to a completely other site. So once I put in the H, it sent me to the correct site. So yeah, I guess
you were paying off someone else's credit card bills.
No, I don't know. I had to have saved it the first couple times, but this last time I guess I didn't. But I don't have to worry about it anymore. Paid it off. But yeah, no, I'm getting back to. I understand that one. Okay, that's my bad. Okay, I get it.
And so then,
but the St. Patrick's one,
I inquired about.
I mean
St. Patrick's
that
Day.
I read that. I know Patty had read verbatim, word for word, letter for letter. He got it down.
Yeah,
I know that because that's something that he's really good at for some reason. I don't know why or how, but yeah, he's really good at that one. But
right. So I said, hey, Marcelo's cousin, Patty, read the script.
Yeah,
did a pretty dang good job.
Oh yeah.
I don't say so myself. And I said, well, what's going on? You going to send us a check or what?
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, we did. And I was like, what do you mean you did?
Yeah,
I haven't received any check in the mail or nothing.
I haven't either, yeah.
And they said, no, we sent the check, but we sent it to Marcelo's cousin Patty. He did the ad read.
Oh, that little fucker.
I know. And guess where he's at?
Let me guess. That little fucker was over in Belfast or something like that, right?
Yes. So the fake ad agency said, the check got sent to Belfast.
So that's why I got those drunken pictures of kneecaps and bars and all that shit in Belfast. Okay, now that all makes sense. I wasn't sure what. Okay.
He sent you Polaroids?
No, actually he's got a Wii phone.
A Wii phone.
A Wii phone, yeah. I don't know.
There's something over there, huh?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So they sent the money to your cousin.
All right, I'll go hunt his little Lucky Charms ass down. I'll pull him back here by that fire crotch.
You know what though? I will say this, Marcelo. Your cousin was probably my favorite guest we've had on the podcast. So maybe
far.
Maybe he deserves it. Okay,
maybe.
So I'm not even mad that he got the check.
I just hope that he'll at least reimburse me for bringing him out here. I mean, he can at least do that.
Well, that's a deal between you and him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I asked the fake.
So no. I was saying no. Actually, just gonna ask. Do we have one today?
We do.
Okay. I'll try to make sure that the address is to here.
Okay, I'll make sure of that. So luckily, I got back to I asked the fake ad agency. I said, "Hey, give us another chance." They said, "Sure."
Because this time it wasn't our fault; it was their fault, really.
Correct.
Okay.
So. They said that there's this company that would love to sponsor our show. They said they like what we do. They like what Simple Times Podcast is all about.
Okay.
And they want to be a reoccurring sponsor.
Okay.
And I personally, I think I support this one.
Okay.
Marcelo, do you want to? You're the man. So
I love doing them. Let's do it.
So yeah, this is the new company that wants to sponsor our show. And they said they will send us personally a free product.
Okay.
All right, so take it away.
Are you a morning person? Neither am I. Are you a I need caffeine to function type person? That sounds like me too. But are you also the type of person that likes sparkling water because you got to go to the bubbles with your drink? Well, we have a brand new product for you. Thanks to the ingenious masterminds of one man, we have developed the perfect drink for coffee lovers and sparkling water enthusiasts. Introducing Coffizz carbonated coffee. It combines the coffee taste you have come to crave every single day with the perfect amount of bubbles that you enjoy in every soft drink that you love. Every can of Coffizz blends the perfect amount of fizziness to the perfect amount of coffee. It's a soft drink you didn't know you needed. Coffizz is now available in 3 bold and bubbly flavors: vanilla, caramel, and mocha. Coffizz is carbonated. It's coffee. It's carbonated coffee. What are you waiting for? Try coffee today. Can you tell that I've already tried some? I've already tried some. Coffizz is not available in stores since. Coffizz is not a real product, but Andrew thinks it should be.
Awesome. Yes.
Wow, that was weird. How did I get that energetic through just reading a fake ad? That must be some really strong stuff then.
Yeah.
I mean, it sent through the airwaves to me.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
really fast. I can't even talk that fast. Oh my goodness. That was awesome. So Coffizz.
Yeah.
Sounds good, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like those flavors too. Vanilla, mocha, and caramel. Yeah.
Carbonated coffee. It comes in a can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I saw the picture that they sent. It's like a can.
Okay.
Coffizz.
Okay.
Carbonated coffee.
All right. Well, that sounds like a pretty good product.
I think so too.
Well, Andrew, if you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind, and I know exactly what you're thinking because I can read your mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe it's the glasses that I'm wearing.
Oh, could be.
But
or maybe it's because we have such good history together.
Oh, we do. We go way back. So I think it's time for History with Jefe.
So, all right. So, not much interesting stuff. Just a few things. Like today, which is March 29th, by the way. In 845, the year 845, Paris is sacked by Viking raiders, probably under Ragnar Lodbrok, who collects a huge ransom in exchange for leaving. Yeah. So I thought that was cool. You know.
So he left, and he's like taking.
He collected a huge ransom in exchange for leaving. So Paris was like, hey, we'll give you this larger ransom if you just pack up your shit and get out.
Got it. Thanks for clearing that up.
Not a problem. This day in 1912, Captain Robert Falcon Scott, stormbound in a tent near the South Pole, makes last entry in his diary, "The end cannot be far." I believe he ended up dying in the South Pole because it was so cold.
Wow.
I believe so, if I remember correctly, because that name does sound familiar.
Did he find the pole?
I hope so.
All right.
I just hope he didn't run into it like I did on a cruise.
Wow.
Story for another day. In 1961, after a 4.5-year trial, Nelson Mandela is acquitted of treason in Pretoria. Yep. Today in film and TV, in 1959, Some Like It Hot, the American comedy film directed by Bill Wilder, starring Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon, premieres at Lowe's Capitol Theater, New York City. Have you ever heard of Some Like It Hot?
No.
So Some Like It Hot was, like I said, it's American comedy. Marilyn Monroe was in it. Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, where Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon dressed up as women to try to fool. I think they tried to fool Marilyn Monroe so they could get to know her better, or something like that. I haven't seen it, but I do remember that them dressing as women was like one of like the big things because it was 1959. So at the time they were like, oh, men and women and all that stuff. It just kind of threw them off. But they said it was actually a really good, memorable film. One of Marilyn Monroe's best.
Now that you said all that, it does sound familiar. I feel like I've heard that story before.
Yeah. Today in music, in 1795, Ludwig van Beethoven, at the age of 24, has his debut performance as a pianist at the Berg Theater in Vienna, Austria.
Nice.
Today in sports, in 1994, it might spark a, what do you call it? Or you might have heard of this name.
I was 5 years old that year.
I'm talking about today. In 1994, Coach Jimmy Johnson quits the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
He is probably one of the most recognized Dallas Cowboy coaches. One of the most recognized coaches in NFL history. He was one. I think he was one that brought him to the Super Bowl and won it back-to-back times back in the 90s. So
wow.
In fact, I believe he was even just recently entered into the Football Hall of Fame. Movie star James Stewart, James Stewart from It's a Wonderful Life and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and all that stuff, was promoted to full colonel, one of the few Americans to rise from private to colonel in 4 years on this day in 1945 during World War II. He was one of the few, or many actors actually, that was drafted into World War II.
Wow.
Famous birthdays today is legendary baseball player Cy Young, who had the pitching award named after the Cy Young Award.
Cool.
Born this day in 1867. Also, some other famous celebrity birthdays. Brendan Gleeson, which I don't know if you know know the name, but you recognize the face.
That's familiar. Where do I know him from?
He had his breakthrough role in 1995 with Braveheart with Mel Gibson.
Right.
But some of the most memorable roles included the Mad-Eye Moody in the Harry Potter series.
Nice.
He was also in movies called In Bruges, which I heard was a good one, because I believe that's the one with Colin Farrell. And there's another one called The Guard, where he was a morally conflicted police officer. It sounds kind of down, but I think it was a comedy, a dark comedy.
Nice.
But he's also from Dublin, Ireland, so maybe he knows Paddy.
Oh,
Well, if
they're neighbors.
maybe on this day also is Lucy Lawless, Xena warrior princess herself. She turned 56. By the way, Brendan Gleeson turned 69 today. Forgot to mention that. But Lucy Lawless, Xena warrior princess. I think that's how she did it.
Wow, Marcelo,
Yeah.
that was impressive.
She turned 56, and also a name that you're not familiar with probably, but a name that I am. Tennis player or former tennis player Jennifer Capriati celebrates her 48th birthday today. Fun fact about today: on this day in 1986, Beatle records like the Beatles, John, Paul, George, and Ringo, officially go on sale in Russia. So, and other than that, that would be history with Jefe.
All right, Marcel, thank you so much for bringing us all that history.
Not a problem. So, I got to ask, before we get into anything else.
Yes.
What's this about your manhood?
Yeah, I have a great story that I wanted to share, something that happened to me.
All right.
And I hope you have your seatbelt on, because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
All right.
So.
Hold on. Click. Okay.
Now you're ready.
Yeah, I am.
All right. You're the test dummy. All right. Just kidding. No,
I'm bald like one, so yeah.
So this is something that happened to me, and it's a true story.
Okay.
And one that's just really defined. Just a new perspective I have on life.
What was that? Did something knock over?
Oh, it was just the spray can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I could have sworn I saw something red and fuzzy go running across.
No.
No? It's not?
It better not be who.
No? Andrew! It's me! Elmo!
I thought I got rid of him.
You didn't set down the traps, did you?
No.
You forgot him, didn't you? You forgot the traps?
I forgot the traps.
Don't worry, Andrew. I come find you. I'll hide again. We play hide and seek. I come find you.
Elmo, I was getting ready to tell my story.
Okay.
Jerk.
All right, well, yeah. Hopefully, I think he crawled through that hole over there in the wall. So
Over
I think,
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he's pretty occupied now. So,
All right.
anyways.
Oh man, I need to get me a gun. Okay, so so what this whole episode title is all about.
Andy becomes man.
Yeah, that one. So there are things that men go through that really define them.
Uh-oh.
That they transition from boyhood to manhood, and I think
What, you're transitioning?
no, well, from boyhood to manhood.
Oh, okay.
And I went through something that was just so life altering that I think I'm at a new place now in life, and it has to do with the toilet.
Uh-oh.
So, what are the things, Marcelo, that could go wrong with a toilet?
You can get a hemorrhoid.
Okay, let's say you weren't pushing so hard, but
All right.
what are common toilet problems?
You can't go.
No, okay, now with the toilet itself,
The toilet
physical,
itself.
the throne, the John.
Did you break a toilet seat?
No, no. I fixed toilet seats before, but
Okay.
bigger than that. Something
Bigger
that you
than that?
never want to happen to you.
Did you get stuck on one?
No, I didn't get stuck on one.
Snake come up and bite you in the ass?
No.
Spider came up and bite you in the ass?
Nah, but
Spider came up and crawled up your ass?
oh no.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I probably feel that.
Oh, hopefully.
No, so our toilet got plugged.
Oh, it got clogged
It
up.
got clogged up.
Okay.
And
and you had a plunger.
I did.
Okay.
Luckily I did. I had 2.
Oh, okay.
But this was just a horrible incident because, as you know, Marcelo, I have a family of 5, and we have 2 toilets. Okay. And 5 people cannot operate with one toilet. Okay. There's too many butts that have to sit on that toilet.
Yeah.
So this happened late at night.
Okay.
One of my kids clogged up the toilet, and I think it's because we've been using the flushable wipes.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Well, actually, and it's funny because there's been a lot of plumbers that have been calling this podcast that I did listen to that said that you are not supposed to flush those wipes. Even though it says on there flushable, they said you're lucky if you'll get one. Otherwise, they're supposed to go in the trash. Yeah.
Right. I've even delivered, because I'm a mailman for new listeners.
Yeah.
A certain building where the building manager posted above the mailboxes saying, listen, do not flush flushable wipes down the toilet because it affects the whole building.
Yep.
Because they've had plumbers come in once a month.
Yeah.
So they had to post something by the mailboxes saying, please, we know they say flushable, but don't flush them. It disrupts the plumbing. And so, our toilet got clogged, and I'm like, oh, hell no.
Now,
I got to fix this.
Are you septic or are you sewer?
I'm not sure. Well,
Okay.
how would I know the difference?
If you have to clean out, because if it's a septic tank, you at some point would have been told you need to clean it out at a certain time.
Well, no one's told me anything along those lines, so I'm going to assume sewer.
You're probably sewer. Okay.
So
I'm sure there's probably other ways, but I can't think of any right now because I've never really dealt much with septic tanks. But
so the toilet was clogged, and I was determined to fix this thing.
okay,
In my head, I'm like, I am not calling a plumber,
right.
because I don't even want to know how much that's going to cost me. So I'm like, I'm going to do it myself.
And plus, as a man, you never want to really call the man.
Exactly. And so I go to my laundry room, I grab a plunger, and I start going at it. And I'm like, all right, I just got to do this. I've done this before. I've unclogged the toilet before.
Oh yeah. So many times. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just going to keep going at it. So I'm going, I'm plunging, and I'm like, all right, let me try flushing. Water slowly starts rising. I'm like, I didn't do it. Let me just go at it a little bit more. I'm plunging. I'm like, okay, the water seems to be going down. So the water was going down slowly. I'm like, okay, it's got to be doing something.
Yeah.
I flush, but then the water starts rising up again. I'm like, oh, come on. What's going on? I'm like, you know what? I know I have a better plunger. I've seen it. So I go back in my laundry room where we keep all this, the cleaning stuff, whatever. And then I'm like, where's that second plunger? I find it. It was behind the dryer or something. So I pull it out. This one's more high tech, It's got a cooler suction looking thing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, all right, this one's going to work.
More heavy duty, yeah.
Start plunging. I'm like, okay, the water seems to be going down. All right, this is good. And I'm like, all right, let's flush it. Flush it. Water slowly starts to rise again. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, at this point, I was trying to be careful. I didn't want to get toilet water on my shoes, so I wasn't plunging so hard. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do the next best thing. I go on YouTube. I started watching all kinds of videos, trying to figure out how a toilet works, common toilet problems. And I'm here on the YouTubes for about an hour. And I'm like, man, I think I've earned myself a PhD on toilets.
Okay, then let me ask you this then, if you learned a PhD. What is the part in the tank of the toilet what is the part that's what is the name of the part in the tank of the toilet that bobs up and down in the water?
The bob up and down thing?
No. It's called the ball cock. I swear it is called the ball cock.
Wow, Marcelo.
While you were finishing this, I will look it up and I will show you. It's called the ball cock.
Okay, first of all, I can't believe you would do anything just to say that word on our podcast. And two, please do not show me a picture of ball cock, okay?
I will make sure that my safe search is on.
Alrighty. So I was like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing. So I opened up the lid part, the tank lid. And I'm looking in there, and I'm like, what's this here? What's this there? You know how, like, when your car breaks down, you open up the hood, and you don't know what you're looking at, but you pretend like you do?
Yeah.
So I kind of did that with the tank part, and I'm like, okay, I see that. All right. Okay, I see a ball cock. Okay.
Oh, now all of a sudden you know what a ball cock is.
Hey, PhD in toilets, remember? So I'm looking around. I'm like, all right, let me turn this. Let me push that. And I'm like, just touching whatever I can touch.
Oh yeah, you're touching that ball cock, aren't you?
Okay, you got a picture of this thing here?
It's the ball cock.
Yeah,
that little floaty thing in the tank.
Yeah, I was touching that.
Oh, okay.
So I was feeling up on
I'm
that.
Sure you
I was
were
touching it. I was twisting.
Ooh,
and
don't twist it.
I'm like, okay, it's got to do something different now. It has to. And so I'm flushing, and the same thing. The water's rising, and I'm just at this point I'm frustrated. I'm like, I got 3 kids. Okay, they use this toilet. I don't want them using my toilet in my room.
Right.
Because there's going to be pee on the rim. They don't even flush. Leaving stains everywhere. I'm like, no way. So I got to fix this toilet. So I go with the plunger at it. And this time, I'm going a little harder, you know, with the plunger. And it was so gross. The water started splashing on me. And I'm like, I don't care. You know, I've been at this for 2 hours. This has got to flush.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, all right. And then what did I do? Oh, I even boiled hot water. I'm like, okay, this has to work. It's got to like dissolve something that's in there. So I boil water. I pour it in. I flush nothing.
Okay. First, only to that. You never want to pour boiled water into your toilet.
Oh, why not?
The boiling water could be hot enough that I believe it could possibly crack your toilet. So you can pour it into like sinks and down drains.
Oh.
To unclog hair, because the metal pipes or copper pipes that you have should be able to withstand the boiling water. But I don't think you want to put it into a toilet, because you got cold water sitting there and you add boiling water. That combination could possibly crack your porcelain.
All right, good to know. I guess I don't have a PhD. I just have a master's.
Okay.
So I did all that. I even used this like rod thing that we used to unclog our sink. It like pulls out hair.
Oh yeah,
sink,
yeah.
From like a regular bathroom sink.
Yeah, it's kind of like your own little like snake.
Right. And so I use that in the toilet, thinking it's got to do something. Maybe there's something stuck there. And I was going at it, water splashing on my hands. I'm like, gross. But I'm like, it's got to do something. And then I thought that it did. And I'm like, all right, I think the water's going down a little bit faster. I flush, water's rising up. I'm like, this can't be happening. I start plunging. And I'm so pissed off that it seems like nothing's working. I flush again. This time the water starts to rise up over the bowl. And it's nonstop. I don't know what I did, but it was overflowing. It looked like Niagara Falls.
Okay.
The whole floor in my bathroom was getting flooded. And I'm like, oh no, what do? I like quickly look for beach towels, and I just lay them down. And those things are getting soaked by the second.
Andrew.
And I'm like, what is going on? What?
Did you ever think to shut off the water on the toilet?
I did. So I started turning the thing, and it didn't do anything. It just kept rising. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I started to panic, and it was like the grossest thing. I mean, the water was pretty much clean, but still seeing toilet water just flooding the whole entire bathroom floor. I've never seen that before, and it was so freaky. And I don't know how I turned it off, or it just stopped. Finally, it stopped. And I'm like, I felt defeated.
Okay.
I'm like, I can't believe I let my toilet do this to me. And I was about to throw in the towel, after throwing in all the beach towels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I just need a break. I sat down. I don't know what I did, but I'm like, you know what? Winners never quit. So I just waited for, a couple minutes for the water to go down. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go plunge all out. I grab that plunger. I stick it back in there. I try to create a nice little suction pocket. And this time I'm like, you know what? My shoes got toilet water on them. My pants are dirty. The floor's messed up. I don't care. But I'm not going out. I'm not going down without a fight.
Uh-huh.
I grab that plunger. I use every muscle in my body. I go hard. I'm talking extra plunge. I use every muscle in my body. I put my back into it. And I'm like, this toilet, it's getting unclogged. We got to remember, the back of my head, 3 kids.
Yeah.
We're not going down to one toilet. I'm not calling the man, as you so eloquently put it. I am the man.
Mm-hmm.
I plunge my little heart out. My arms are so sore. They were getting so tired. But you, like anyone else would know, you do kickboxing.
Mm-hmm.
You might feel tired, but that's when you go harder.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Okay.
I plunged my little heart out. I kept going harder, plunging. And then all of a sudden, Marcella, I heard I heard something. It's hard to describe, but I heard like a
You heard like that, like
the thing that was in
the
there.
clog moved. The clog got unclogged.
The very thing that was causing so much distress in my life, it moved. And I'm like, what was that? I think that's it. By golly, I think I fixed it. I go to flush the toilet. I push the little button because your old school toilets have like a little flush, little nozzle,
the little lever. Yeah,
lever. No, the ones that we have is like a button.
The button on top. I
go to press that button, man. I'm like, this has to be it. I heard it. I know what that was. That was it. I push the little button.
Yeah.
The water flushed so fast. I unclogged that toilet better than it had been when it was functioning before. Like, the flush was better. So not only did I fix the clogged toilet, I improved the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow. I did that. And I thought to myself, you know what? This is a rite of passage. I'm a man now. I unclogged this toilet because you might be thinking, oh, he just unclogged the toilet. No, I saved my family.
Okay.
I didn't have to call the man. You know why? Because all along I was the man. Now my kids can freely use the toilet. It's flushing now and it's doing great. All because I said, you know what? This toilet's not taking me out. I'm flushing that poop out. So Marcelo, what do you think?
So to summarize it.
Yeah, summarize it.
From what it sounds like.
Just say you respect me as a man, provider of my household.
You went into the bathroom by yourself.
Uh-huh.
You played with a ball cock. You plunged really, really hard, and when you were sore and you were feeling tired, you went harder and harder up until you heard a bugunk, and you finally achieved release. And that's when you felt like you became a man?
Well, now that you put it that way, I mean, I think my story was better. I guess.
Well, anyways, congratulations on your manhood. I mean, every guy's gotta, I guess, plunge by himself in the bathroom. So,
wow, I felt better about myself, but now that you put it in those terms, let's just move on. Forget it.
All right. Well, speaking of clogged up toilets and pieces of shit and stuff like that, I have a story, if I share it real quick, about a piece of shit.
Okay. I did have a second story, but
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
But let's go to you.
Okay.
You know, these people heard enough about me. And
Yeah.
this show is, about you as much as it is about me.
Well,
so.
well, while it's fresh in the mind.
Yeah.
So this past Wednesday, so every Monday, Wednesday, I go to a kickboxing class and then I do a stretch class after. I've talked about it before.
Yes.
So over at Harbor Fitness, because it was brought to my attention by Zoli that I don't say the name enough.
Oh,
so,
yeah, plug in the place that you love to work out.
Harbor Fitness in San Pedro. Look it up on Instagram. Harbor Fitness for Life is their handle. Anyways, so we're down. So Wednesday, it's a regular Wednesday kickboxing stretch. After stretch, we kind of hang around. Usually me, Liz, Rory, and Jackie. Jackie's the instructor. We just hang around and we just kind of talk. Just kind of just BS for a little bit. But Liz had to leave quick, and so she took Rory, and they left, and I gathered my stuff, and I left too, little earlier than usual. About 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes after Liz had left, I get a call from Rory saying, "Hey, we just left, and there's a guy about a block away from the gym over on the corner of 22nd Street and Via Cabrillo Marina, and he's got a stick." It's a homeless guy, shirtless. He has a stick with a chain at the end, and he is swinging it at cars that drive by.
Oh, no.
So they're like, be careful as you leave. We don't know where this guy's going. Let Jackie know. Make sure you guys are safe. And I was like, okay. And so I'm like, so at first, it's not that I didn't believe them, but I was kind of like, there should have been, like why would they call me? Like, if it was that kind of emergency, like, why did they call me? Why didn't I call the police, So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they weren't sure if it was a stick or a chain. Maybe there was some doubts, something. Because it is pretty dark over there. You can't really see too clearly.
Do you think they were letting you know just to be aware? Like, hey, be careful, take a different route?
Yeah, exactly. But that's the only route out of the of the marina is to go that way.
In other words, just be careful.
Right. So I'm like, okay. So then I started thinking, I was like, well, let me let Jackie know. I went and I knocked on Jackie's door, or on the gym door, told Jackie. Luckily, there's security that walks around, and she had the numbers to all of them. So I said, maybe you should give him a call, let him know what's going on. Even though I think it was a little outside their little jurisdictional area of where they got to patrol and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But to kind of make sure that he doesn't come into the marina. Well, then as I go walking back to my car, I hear yelling coming from off in that direction. So immediately I'm thinking, okay, there's somebody there, something's going on. I'm just going to call the cops just to be safe. Plus, as I was about to call the cops, I saw two teenage girls on bikes that were just riding around, start riding down that way. So I'm like, okay, I really have to call the cops, because if there is one, I don't want these girls getting hit.
Right.
Call the cops, tell them what's going on. They said, okay, we'll send units over there immediately. Once I saw the girls go riding off that way, I'm like, okay, I need to go stop them just give them a warm. So I hop in my car, I go driving over. Kind of creepily, I was like kind of following them, but I managed to get around them, and I told them, I said, hey, be careful. Friends of mine just told me that there's a guy up here shirtless swinging his stick with a chain on. Be careful. As soon as I said that, I look up and I see the homeless guy without a shirt walking down towards the DoubleTree Hotel into the parking lot. It's right.
So you saw the man.
I saw the guy.
You saw the shirtless man with a stick with a chain on it.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't see the stick and the chain. I saw him dragging a comforter.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, maybe he did have one. Maybe he didn't. Maybe they thought it was, but it was the comforter. I don't know. But I was like, let me go ahead and just follow him anyways, just to kind of just see. Once I turned the corner to go into the DoubleTree parking lot, DoubleTree security was already outside. So they must have heard something. And they're outside and they're watching him, but he's walking through. Well, when he goes walking across the parking lot, he starts heading to the gym. So I'm like, oh shit.
The shirtless guy?
The shirtless guy. So I'm like, oh shit.
The gym that you were just at?
Yeah. So I'm like,
man.
Jackie's still in there by herself.
Oh no.
So I'm like, let me head over there, because if Mama Bear, or her mom Kim, the instructor, happens to find out that something could have possibly happened to her cub, her baby, her literal baby. I mean, that Jackie is the baby of her siblings.
Right.
Mama Bear is going to let me have it and going to let the shirtless guy have it. So to end Mama, and to help protect Mama Bear's rage, let me go down there and make sure the guy doesn't go down that way.
Right.
So I head down there. Last I saw, DoubleTree Hotel was kind of keeping him distracted in the parking lot. because he was trying to fight them all, and they were kind of keeping back, but they're kind of keeping his attention.
Oh, so you saw like an altercation
They
between
weren't not quite. The guy was
yelling.
The guy was trying to instigate a fight. He wanted to fight anybody in the area. Anybody that happened to look at him, he was having a problem with. So,
did he look like? Maybe he was on drugs. Was he acting like maybe
he just looked like some crazed homeless dude that happens to walk around, the area at night.
Just not all there, just looking for trouble.
Right. And cops called me, and they were like, "Yeah, we're at the corner, but we don't see anybody." And I said, "Well, he's at the DoubleTree Hotel." They're like, "Oh, okay. Well, we'll head down that way. We'll pass along the message." Here's the thing, though, that I started realizing, and I predicted, because after I got off the phone with them, I was like, "Okay, cops are in the area. I'm gonna head back to the gym, and I'm gonna wait for Jackie. Jackie should be done cleaning up." When she came out, she saw me. She goes, "You're still here?" She was like, "You didn't have to wait." I said, "Well, the guy was heading down this way. I want to make sure he didn't come down this way and ambush you or go crazy or something." So she's like, "Oh, that's nice." I said, "So I'll follow you out. You go ahead and take off. I'll be right behind you to make sure that he doesn't, or I could try to defuse it." As we're leaving the area and heading down that road, I don't see any cops. I don't see the homeless guy. I don't see the security guy. So I'm like, but it's odd that I don't see the cops, even though they said, "We're on the corner. We'll head down to the DoubleTree." So immediately I sat there and I realized, after, of course, we got out of the area and I made sure Jackie was safe to get out of the area, I realized I didn't specify to LAPD that it was in San Pedro. When I was a security guard for Little Sisters at the retirement home, and I had to call the cops a couple times, if you didn't specify you were in San Pedro, they would send units to L.A. L.A. has very similar streets to San Pedro.
Right.
They have a Harbor Boulevard. They have a Pacific Boulevard. They have the numbered streets.
They have a San Pedro Street.
I am thinking, when I told them they were on 22nd Street, I think they might have gone to 22nd Street in downtown L.A. instead of San Pedro. That's probably why.
Thanks to you,
'cause
those cops were circling 22nd Street like, where's the DoubleTree?
That is not my fault, because they should have been able to ping my address or the location on my cell phone to show that I was in the San Pedro Marina. So maybe that's why I didn't see any.
So you didn't see any cops, but
right.
What happened to the man?
I don't know.
He disappeared?
I don't know. That's the thing, is that literally once I was like, okay, Jackie's out, I don't, and she's safe, and I don't have to worry about the wrath of Mama Bear coming after me. I just kind of left it alone. The next day when I showed up to kickboxing, we're kind of like, I'm like, Jackie was like, quiet day today. She's like, so far. And then they were telling me that, because there were two people that left before Liz and Rory. No, take it back. That left after, but before me. Paul and Gail.
Right.
Paul left first. So when he came back to one of the morning classes that Kim was having, Paul had said, "Did you guys happen to see the guy swinging the stick around?" So I was like, "Oh, there was a stick," because this is the second person that saw it.
Second person.
Then they had said that
And then Gail came in and she had a black eye and a bruised head and said, "Hey, I saw the guy with the stick and that stick hurt." No. Oh, okay. Sorry.
So Paul said when he saw him, he thought Gail's gonna be right behind me. So he made a U-turn to come back around and followed Gail and made sure that and they said that they both left.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so there was a stick. There was a guy with a stick. So what happened to the stick between that happening and not even less than 2 minutes later when I happened to see the guy? I don't know what he did with the stick, but clearly there was a stick involved. So
do you think that stick was a shillelagh?
Could have been. Hopefully it wasn't his shillelagh, because I don't think it was that big.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah.
So crazy man.
Yeah.
After your workout,
yep,
swinging his shillelagh around.
Like I said, I hope it wasn't that, because they said it was me. They said it was a bigger stick.
Okay.
So,
well, to add to that story and to add to the manhood story that I had, something happened to me too that involves a crazy person as well. and I think he was just not all there.
Yeah.
So I was delivering at the village.
How crazy would it be if it ended up being the same guy?
I would doubt it.
Okay.
The distance is too great.
Yeah, you never know.
So I was delivering, and I had to deliver to 3 buildings. So picture 3 buildings next to each other. First, second, third. I deliver to the first one, and then I go back to my truck to get more mail.
Yeah.
I go to the second one, and then go back to my truck to get more mail. Then I go to the third one.
Okay.
Now, this weird guy was at the second one, the one in the middle.
Correct.
So I saw this man when I delivered to that building. When this man was sitting on this wall. He was wearing a tank top. He had all these bags next to him. So in my head, I thought, well, this is kind of like an alley, and I don't know this person, never seen him before, and he looks like I don't know, a transient, homeless person.
Yeah.
Because he's just sitting on the wall. He has all these bags with him, and he's just on his phone, and he's not going anywhere. Because I delivered to that building where he was sitting, went back to my truck, grabbed more mail, walked past him again to get to the third building, and then I had to go back to that second building where he was sitting.
Yeah.
Because I forgot a package, so I had to go back in the building.
Yeah.
I go back inside the building. That guy's still hanging out by the front door, just sitting on a wall.
Yeah.
Go upstairs, deliver the package to the front door because it's like a condo building. I go back downstairs, and then I exit the door of the building, and then all of a sudden, what do I hear? Just this guy that was sitting there the whole time, he goes, "Hold the door, hold the door, hold the door." And I'm just like, what in the world? And I let the door go.
Yeah.
And the guy goes to reach for the door, and he like slams his foot on the door accidentally and starts yelling at me. He's like, "Why did you hold open the door? What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is what's going on in my head.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time this has happened to me. Several years back, I was delivering at a condo building, and as I'm exiting out, I'm going in to deliver, and this guy, I noticed him sitting at the bus stop, starts running towards me, behind me.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, let me in. I need to go inside." And keep in mind, this was during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, these buildings on like Catalina and Esplanade, they were getting hit with a lot of thieves and robberies.
Right.
So I hold the door, and I'm looking at this guy, and he's pretty big. He's like about my height, and he looks pretty buff. And I'm like, "Sir, I can't let you in.
Yeah.
If you want to come in, you got to use the intercom." He's like, No. I'm just wanting to see if there's any vacancies. I want to rent here. And I'm like, "Sir, like you got to call the number that's posted on that sign for the building. Like I can't let you in."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I just want to take a look around." And I'm like, "No." And so all that, back and forth, the lady that lives in the first unit inside opens the door, and she knows exactly what's going on. And she goes, "Sir, you can't come in here. These are private condos, and you got to get out of here."
Yeah.
And finally, the guy, he gave up. He's like, ugh, and I could tell he was mad. He left.
Scared away by a little old lady, but not by you.
And so the lady goes, "Thank you so much. Like, it's been getting so bad lately with robberies and burglaries. This place is going downhill. Like, the city's going downhill." She was just putting her 2 cents.
Yeah.
And so then the following day, apparently the lady, she put in a good word for me at the post office. And then on the loudspeaker, the office was like, "Oh, everybody, I just want, we got a customer, like praise comment, whatever. We just want to recognize Andrew Reyes. He stopped a stranger from entering a building, and it could have been really bad. So it's great that he was vigilant and whatever, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." So anyway, that happened to me several years back. So I kind of thought about that at this new incident with the guy sitting at the wall with all these bags next to him.
Right.
And he starts yelling at me because I didn't leave the door open for him. And I'm like, sir, and I say this to a lot of people. I'm like, oh, do you live here? Just, casually, like, oh, do you live here?
Yeah.
And he goes, what? What did you say? I'm like, sir, I can't let strangers into the building. He's like, what? Why would you say something like that? Do I live here? Of course I live here. He pulls out his wallet.
Mm-hmm.
He flips it open to his ID, and I swear to you, he puts it up to my face like this. Look, look, what do you see? What do you see? And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a crazy question to ask if you live here.
Yeah.
I've asked this question many times to
Right.
people that I don't know.
Right.
And their typical response is, oh, yeah, I live here. Or,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I'm just waiting for my friend. Or it's like a DoorDash person.
Right. Yeah.
Those people are easy to spot.
Yeah, because they got the big DoorDash thing on them. Yeah.
A big DoorDash thing, or a bag of food,
That
or
too,
I see
yeah.
the Amazon delivery, or
That,
the UPS, or the FedEx. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, they look legit. But this guy, I don't know who he was, and he was just hanging out on the wall, right? So as he's shoving his wallet in my face,
You realize that the wallet's completely empty. No, or it's one of those like those stock photos, like like they put in wallets.
Well, no, it was real.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the address, and I saw the building address matched.
Yeah.
The building.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, it says 620 The Village. So that was the address.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's right. Yeah, I can't believe you would say that and ask me that. And I'm just like, and he went inside, and I could tell he was mad. But what didn't make sense is he left his bags on the wall. He just left them there.
I wonder if he was being kicked out.
Yeah, and then all that crossed my mind too. I'm like, okay, yeah. If you do live there, you would have a key to get in.
Or you would at least know of a way on how to get in.
Right.
Call the neighbor, do whatever, yeah.
But, this happened so fast. Like, maybe he did forget his key. He was waiting for somebody. That's true. But the way that he just blew up in my face, I'm like, wow. Like, it happened so fast, I don't know what to do. And he just went into his building, leaving his stuff out. I'm like, you know what? What I could have done was call the cops.
You should have been like, my name is Paul, and this is between y'all, and just walked away. I delivered the mail, and that's about as good as it's gonna get.
Well, I'm kicking myself because I didn't get what unit number he was in.
Yeah.
Because after all that, and like I said, it happened so fast. This never happened to me before.
You didn't pay attention to the name when he was shoving the ID in your face?
No. But I think I figured out where he lives though.
Okay.
But what I wanted to do was hold his mail. Like, say you're not getting mail.
Yeah.
Or packages. You're gonna have to pick it up at the post office from now on, because no, I'm not going to be disrespected like that.
Yeah.
Just because, and I told him I'm not allowed to have strangers go into the building. I don't know who you are.
You're not a doorman.
I'm not a doorman. I'm not a bouncer.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my initial plan. I thought about calling my supervisor, because that was grounds to call a supervisor.
Yeah.
Have them come down and try to confront the guy.
Yeah.
And let him know that, hey, you're going to lose mail privileges. You're going to have to open up a P.O. box. And You're going to have to go to a P.O. box place to pick up your mail.
Yeah.
Because that has happened before.
Right.
We had a carrier. He got punched in the face by a customer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I guess he thought it was Mike Tyson or something. That's a story for another day. But so I go back to my truck because I had to grab mail for a different building. I'm like, you know what? Let me go back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to see what happens.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what? I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
This guy's a jerk. And I want to see what happens. I go back to that building just because I wanted to see if I could figure out. Like, I kind of saw his name on the ID, and I was trying to figure it out. But I can't remember the name. I go back. He's sitting there on the wall again, eating pineapple. And there were some workers going into that building, so I just followed them behind them. And I just looked at him, and he didn't say anything to me, almost as if nothing happened. I go in there. I try to figure out what his name could have been.
Yeah.
in the mailboxes, but couldn't figure it out. Walk back out. He's still just sitting there, headphones in his ears. I walk away. I look back. I take a picture of him because I'm like, I want to remember this guy.
Yeah.
And so I could tell the regular.
Right.
And yeah, just went on with my day, and I'm like, I wonder if I'll ever see him again. Fast forward to a week later when I go back to that route.
Uh-huh.
I was walking to that building with the mail, and then I could tell someone was walking behind me. And so I'm like, I know after what happened last week, I'm not letting anybody in. I open the door with the key that I have to open the door, and I slam the door behind me.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, someone opens the door with their key.
Yeah.
Walks in, walks past me, walks past the mailboxes. He's walking down the hall, and I look over. He takes off his hood, and I'm like, that's the guy.
Okay.
And then I see him walk all the way to the end of the hallway to the last door on the left, and I'm like, I know where he lives now.
Okay.
So, am I going to do anything illegal or anything that's going to jeopardize my job?
Well, that's
No.
weird because I mean, I have a story here of a man that goes missing in Redondo Beach condo.
Man goes missing. Marcelo, I'm not putting my job on the line, but all I'm saying is I know where he lives. I think I know who he is, and I'm just gonna,
and you know what he did last summer?
I know what he did last summer, last spring, because it happened in spring. All I'm saying is I'm gonna remember this guy and where he lives. I'm not saying I'm gonna do anything nefarious, but all that to say is don't mess with the mailman.
Do you know who the regular is?
Oh yeah, he's an old timer, and I asked him about it. He's like, I showed him the picture that I took.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know, but I think I'm gonna tell him. But he's an old timer, like the kind of old guy that you just don't mess with because he's so old.
No, because he probably doesn't care. He's close to retirement or something.
He is close to retirement, but also you don't mess with old people. He's
Well,
like 71 years old.
Yeah.
But anyway,
sometimes the old people just got it coming.
I'm just gonna say that I could have. You know what? It did cross my mind. Like if this guy threw a punch at me, because he got really close,
right?
Where if I needed to defend myself, I knew that I would have to defend myself, and I wasn't just gonna, let him take a swing. Like I really didn't know what was gonna happen. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, if that guy were to take a swing at me, that would be him striking a federal employee. That's automatic prison for him.
Oh yeah.
But if I would have taken a swing at him because I'm a federal employee, that's the end of my job.
Even if it was self-defense.
If it was self-defense, maybe not. But it would have gotten hairy.
Because I know that you guys have that mace too.
We do, but that's specifically for the dogs.
Really?
I suppose I could use it on a person. But, things can escalate so quickly. And so when all that happened so fast, I'm like, no, I can't let this get out of hand. So I did back away because I'm like, I don't know what this guy's going to do, and I don't know how I'm going to respond. But what I do know is that I have a family back home, and I spent a long time unclogging that toilet. That I'm not going to lose all this just because I wanted to pick a fight with a guy.
Yeah.
So, once again, it's like...
See, and if it was me...
Wait.
Okay.
That was me turning into a man right there, too. I'm just saying that when you domesticate a wild animal like a stallion, like the stallion knows its power, but he reins it in. That's a true horse right there. So... I could have done damage to this guy, but I'm like, you know what? No. Got to be a man in this situation. Got a family to provide for.
Yeah, well, if it was me, I don't have a family. We would have gone down and been like, here, let me show you what I learned at Harbor Fitness. Get on over, motherfucker.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. That would have been a better story.
Ding, ding.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed my story, Marcelo.
It's different.
That was different. Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to bring some like true stories to the table. I think it makes for a fun podcast.
Yeah, it makes great news for the podcast.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think it's
without
that
further
time.
ado, yeah. Here we are with Simple Times News. So Andrew, I do have one story,
And I have one too. So,
and this one actually you'll get a kick out of. I heard this one earlier today, but a wildlife hospital just solved a hilarious case of mistaken identity. By the way, this one I'm reading is from people.com, People Magazine.
thank you.
But
Credit where credit is due.
But I did see it on all of the top news sites.
Oh, so this is a big one. All right.
Not really. I wouldn't say big, but it's definitely an entertaining one.
Yes.
On Thursday, a woman brought in a baby hedgehog to the Lower Moss Nature Reserve and Wildlife Hospital in Cheshire, England, only to be told it wasn't an animal,
What?
but what it was. We'll get to in a bit. The caring woman had picked up the hedgehog from the side of the road after she noticed it hadn't moved or pooped all night. From a distance, you take it at face value. She didn't handle it at all. She scooped it in a box with some cat food and left it alone in a warm, dark place. She did everything so well, she barely peeked at it because she didn't want to stress it out. Kotzi, which is the veterinarian, described the woman who made the rescue to be in her 60s or 70s with well-meaning intentions. She said that she knew immediately when she presented the box containing the hedgehog what it actually was. It was pretty obvious to us, but I can also see how she was mistaken, she recalled. She said, "You're joking? Oh my goodness, how did I do that?" She was so concentrated on doing the right thing, she was concerned it hadn't moved or even pooed. That would be spooky if it had, Kotzi said. The Wildlife Hospital wrote of the rescue attempt on Facebook. Our hearts melted as a kind soul thought she was rescuing a baby hedgehog. As they jokingly named the Beanie Pom Pom.
The
Hoglet. You know what a pom-pom is? Have you seen those beanies that have like that puffy ball at the end of it? Oh, come on, Andrew. Really? You've never seen those?
Oh, the beanies that you wear on your head.
Yes, beanies you wear on the head, and it's got like that
puff ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it was. She thought it was a baby hedgehog. It fell off some dude's fucking hat on the sidewalk.
And she took it to the vet.
Yes, because she thought it was a baby hedgehog. She scooped it up, fed it cat food, put it in, and she was wondering why it hadn't pooped. That's why the vet said it'd been creepy if it did poo.
Did the poof ball eat the food?
No. That was another concern of hers. She's like, it hasn't eaten, it hasn't pooped, it hasn't drank water, and it hasn't moved.
Oh, man.
Despite the mistake, the reserve shared that the adorable new visitor still got all the love, complete with some cozy TLC.
The poof ball?
The poof ball.
Got taken care of.
Yeah. What else are they supposed to do? I mean, they thought
Throw
it was
it in
hilarious.
The trash?
No, that would be cruel.
The poof ball.
Remember, kindness knows no bounds, even when it's to a faux furry friend. The Wildlife Hospital added, while highlighting the importance of rescuing hedgehogs in vulnerable situations. Please remember, if you spot a hedgehog out during the day, it's a sign something's not right. Pop them in a box with a warm source and seek help from your local vets. Let's keep our prickly friends safe.
So, well, you mean to tell me if you see a poof ball, the puff ball thing that's from a beanie on the floor,
Yep.
the appropriate thing to do is to take it to the vet?
Yeah. If it hasn't pooped.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Wow. Okay. Well, great news article. You know what I haven't done? I used to say the moral of the news article? I haven't done that in a long time. I want to bring it back.
Okay.
The moral
of
that news article is...
Don't be in your 70s and 60s and wear your glasses?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is why I'm wearing these new glasses. Okay.
That's right. You have a news article.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me hit the button.
Man, I wanted to press the button.
Well, then you can press it again.
No. This episode's going longer than I expected, so. All right, so this news article comes to us from HuffPost.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Huffington Post.
All right, ready for the headline?
Oh, yeah, born ready.
Here we go. It says, Wisconsin man legally named D's Nuts is arrested in domestic altercation.
Did he try to put D's nuts in someone's mouth?
We'll find out.
All right.
I
like where this is going. Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Okay. This one's by our friend David Moy. Thank you for writing this article. It says, this is one suspect whose name is arresting. A Green Bay, Wisconsin man accused of using a deadly weapon along with misdemeanor battery and disorderly conduct has a very arresting name. That's because the 42-year-old suspect's full name is D's Nuts Lee Kroll. The defendant, with the nutty name, was arrested March 5th after an incident involving a gun, according to CBS Green Bay affiliate WFRV-TV. Try saying that 1,000 times fast. The police said two others who were put into a squad car before Kroll's arrest were identified as his daughter and her boyfriend. Sounds like a bad family.
Yeah, right?
Police then took a shirtless Kroll into custody, according to a criminal complaint obtained by the smoking gun. Not an actual smoking gun. That's
okay.
I don't know, some kind of something that's not a gun, which noted that the elder Kroll appeared to be highly intoxicated. Surprise, surprise. The daughter and her boyfriend told officers they had argued with Kroll on the phone earlier in the evening over household chores and caring for the family's puppies. The couple said they found the residence locked when they showed up 2 hours later. The couple told police that they repeatedly knocked on the door, and at one point Kroll opened the door and punched his daughter in the shoulder. Not good. He reportedly later threatened his daughter and her boyfriend with a BB gun that they said looked like a pistol. Authorities say when they interviewed Kroll, he kept talking in circles. Kroll was charged with a misdemeanor battery and misdemeanor disorderly conduct and use of a dangerous weapon, which, if convicted, could net him a year in jail. He was released on a $1,000 bond on Wednesday and is next due in court on April 24th. His court date is coming up. The Smoking Gun, I think that's like a news article or a newspaper. The Smoking Gun reports that Kroll legally changed his first name from Derek to D's Nuts in 2011, adding another E about 6 years later. So get this. His original name was Derek. He legally changed it to Des Nuts, like D-E-Z.
Yeah.
And then maybe he realized he messed up, and he's like, wait, it's supposed to be two E's. So then he legally changed his name to D's Nuts with two E's in 2011. Now, for those of you that don't understand what the significance of D's Nuts is, the article does provide dictionary.com notes. It says that D's Nuts is an expression used to deliberately interrupt or divert a conversation, the website says. It is not a literal reference to testicles, but a way to disrupt and show disrespect to whatever discussion is currently occurring. I wanted to provide an example.
It's raining. Oh, fuck.
So, Marcelo, can you try to give me a conversation?
With using D's nuts?
No, just a random conversation. I'm going to explain how D's nuts works in a disruptive way. Like, ask me a question.
And what's funny is that I had one before you asked me. Wow. Like I'm literally just drawing a blank.
These nuts are drawing a blank.
Yeah.
So that's how
okay.
that's how it works. For those of you that are listening that don't understand, here's a little bit more history about the term D's nuts. Although the term was first used on Dr. Dre's 1992 album The Chronic, it really took hold in pop culture in 2015 when Brady Olson, a 15-year-old Iowa native, ran for president under the name and ended up scoring surprisingly well in early polls compared with Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and Donald Trump. And that's the end of the article. So, what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is, if you have a ridiculous name, like legally a ridiculous name like D's Nuts, and you punch your sister, there will be a news article about you in the Huffington Post. Okay. All right. So that was some good news. Thank you for providing that, Marcelo. And yeah, I think it's time to move on with the show because wow, we're getting.
It's funny. This is way longer than we wanted it to be.
I always want these shows to max out at 1 hour, and for some reason, that ship always sinks.
But I will say, I'm not putting blame. I'm just saying. Usually it's my stories that carry over. This time it was your stories that carried over.
I know. It's just we tried recording last week. That didn't happen. So the stories just kept building and building, and here we are.
Yeah.
So
with
that said,
we got one more thing to do before we leave.
Well, two more things to do. First of all, while I was reading that news article, Marcelo, I don't know why you thought it was a good idea to take off your pants.
I mean, I don't know. It's rainy. I just kind of,
So it starts raining, so you take off your pants. And
well,
you thought
why not?
I wasn't going to say anything.
They were wet, so I had to take them off to dry. Jeez.
Well,
don't want to catch you cold, but
hey. They look dry. They look like they're a moisture-wicking material. Can you put them back on, please? So we can finish the show?
All right. Because it's Easter weekend.
Thank you. There we go. That's more like it.
Now can we get on?
Yes, it's time for Jokes with Jefe.
Okay, so as I said before we started, I have a little special edition for the Jokes with Jefe. It's not another family member. It's me. It's me this time.
Oh, okay. I thought Patty was.
No.
I thought you snuck him in your pocket.
No, he's on a bender somewhere with our ad money. Remember?
Yeah.
No. So, in heart of it being Easter weekend,
yay!
I thought I'd do some special jokes.
Oh, right.
Okay. Let me put a little disclaimer.
These are jokes that are about my Lord and Savior.
Kinda.
Oh, yay. I'm so excited.
So, put a disclaimer. Those that maybe offend easy when it comes to Easter and Jesus and religion, you might want to kind of end the podcast here.
Oh. What?
If not, then please carry on and listen.
What are you doing?
For the special edition of Jokes with Jefe with sacrilegious jokes.
Oh, come on.
A few of these I may have repeated before, but
that's okay.
Can't help it,
We could do whatever we want. This is our podcast.
A priest and a rabbi are running out of a burning school. The priest asks the rabbi, "What about the children?" The rabbi replies, "Screw the children." So the priest says, "Do you think we have time?"
You said that one on a podcast not too long ago, but I digress.
A priest and a pedophile walk into a bar. but I hate repeating myself.
Oh.
A Jew gets to heaven after passing and meets God. They start chatting. The Jew tells God a Holocaust joke, but God doesn't laugh. God says, "That's not funny." The Jew shrugs and says, "I guess you had to be there."
Wow.
What do you call a person who believes in Satan? A Christian.
Oh.
God decides to take a vacation. So he goes to his travel agent to get some recommendations. God asks the agent where he should go, and the agent says, "How about the moon? It's supposed to be all the rage right now." God thinks about it and says, "No, I'd like to go somewhere with a little more atmosphere." The agent says, "Okay, well, how about Mars? It's really nice this time of year." God considers it for a second and then says, "No, I'd really like to go somewhere with water." The agent says, "Oh, well, I've got the perfect place. How about Earth? It's got beautiful water and lots of atmosphere." God says, "Are you kidding? I went there a couple thousand years ago, and they're still accusing me of knocking up some Jewish bitch."
Wow.
Jesus walks into a hotel, hands the innkeeper 3 nails, and says, "Can you put me up for the night?"
Oh, come on, man. I said, come on, man. Get on with the jokes.
I always hated going to the church as a kid. This one's a really, really bad one. So
Oh,
I always
no.
hated going to the church as a kid, with the priest constantly telling you to stand up, kneel, sit down, etc. Wish he'd just pick a position and fuck me already. If Allah did not create the universe, why did it begin with an explosion?
Oh, dang.
What's the difference between Jesus and a picture of Jesus?
Oh, I remember this one.
It only takes 1 nail to hang a picture of Jesus.
Wow.
Nuns go to confession to save time. The father sees them all in the main church. The first nun confesses she has seen a penis. The father tells her to wash her eyes with holy water and pray for forgiveness. The next nun says she has touched a penis. The father tells her to wash her hands with holy water and do penance in the kitchen. The fourth nun pushes the third one aside, exclaiming, "Me first! I need to gargle before she sticks her ass in it." A Jewish boy and a Catholic boy grow up together and are great friends. Each goes into the clergy of their respective religions. Many years later, the Catholic man has taken his final vows to become a priest, and the two get together to celebrate. "So a priest, huh? Big stuff. What happens now?" "Well, if you do well and serve my congregation, why, I could be a bishop." "Oh," says the rabbi, "what then?" "Well, if I do well as a bishop and earn the respect of my peers, I could become a cardinal." "Oh, cardinal, what then?" "Well, if I do a good job as a cardinal and earn the respect of my peers, I could be pope." "Ooh, pope, big time. Well, what then?" "What do you mean, what then? If I'm already the pope, what else would I do? Become God?" "Well, I don't know," says the rabbi. "One of our boys did it."
So far, that has been the least offensive one.
Why don't Baptists have sex standing up? They're afraid someone will see them and think they're dancing.
His dancing is bad, yeah.
Why does Jesus hate M&Ms? Because they keep falling through the holes in his hands.
Oh, come
I knew a guy who was about to start a theology degree, so I asked him this internal mind bender. Could God create a qualification so useless that even he couldn't get a job? A priest and a rabbi see a bunch of children. The priest says, "Let's fuck those kids." The rabbi asks, "Out of what?"
You're having so much fun with
I
these.
am. Yeah, these are good.
Man.
How big is the bed of a priest? Come on, every child knows that.
Oh, man. I've never seen you have so much fun, Marcelo. Wow.
If the Bible was a true story, if the Bible was a true story, they would have called it the crucifact, not the crucifixion.
That was pretty tame.
Did you know that there's baseball in the Bible? No, seriously, it's right out the front. In the big inning. Big inning?
Oh.
Beginning?
Okay. That was more of a...
How do you get
punny one.
How do you get a Mormon to stop drinking all of your beer? Invite 2 of them. How does a rabbi make money from circumcisions? He keeps the tips.
Oh, no.
Why does Jesus never lose his progression in video games? Because Jesus saves.
I saw that one coming.
An Amish woman was banished from her community for promiscuously 2 men a night. God was my co-pilot, but we crashed in the mountains and I had to eat him.
That 2 men a night one reminded me of, what was it called? 100 Ways or 1,000 Ways to Die in the West.
Oh,
When, the guy with the wife who's like, she works at the brothel.
Oh, yeah, she's the whore. Yeah.
Yeah, and then...
that was Sarah Silverman's character.
Yeah. And Seth MacFarlane's character was like, hey, man, wait. I guess the husband said, oh, yeah, we haven't had sex. We're waiting for marriage.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what? Like, your wife has sex with, like 2 guys a day.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, on a busy day, yeah.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was like the funniest thing when he said the 2 men a night.
Oh, yeah.
It made me think of that whole scene.
Do you remember the scene when they finally do have sex and he gets to see her vagina and he goes, wow. She's like, oh, you don't like it? He's like, no, it's just so hairy. Okay, just a few more. How do you play chess with a Catholic? Put a condom on the bishop.
Oh, man.
Jesus walks into a hotel. Okay, said that one before. There's just a different word of saying it. The head nun gets up in front of a group of 100 nuns in the convent.
That's a lot of nuns.
Yeah, she says, sisters, someone has given into temptation. We found this used condom, and holds up a condom showing them. 99 nuns gasp in shock, while one quietly giggles. The following week, the head nun gets up in front of the group of 100 nuns again in the convent. She says, sisters, again, someone has given into temptation. We found this used condom. And again, holds up another used condom. And 99 nuns gasp in shock, while one quietly giggles again. The next week, just like the previous, the head nun gets up in front of a group of 100 nuns in the convent. She says, sisters, once more, someone has given into temptation. We found this used condom, and this time the condom has a hole in it. Holds up a condom, and condom drips. 99 nuns quietly giggle, while one gasps in shock. Okay. No? All right.
Oh, it's too funny.
A monk joins a monastery. hold on. I'm trying to find a really good one to end it with.
I'm sorry, man. It's late at night. It's like almost midnight. So sorry if I'm a little slow.
Jesus was just nailed to the cross.
Okay.
He yells out for Peter. Peter goes to the foot of the cross and says, "Yes, Lord." And the Roman soldiers beat Peter and drag him away. A little while later, Jesus calls out, "Peter!" Again, Peter goes to the foot of the cross and says, "Yes, Lord." And the soldiers beat Peter and drag him away. Later, Jesus again calls out to Peter. Peter drags himself to the foot of the cross and says, "Yes, Lord." Jesus looks down to Peter and says, "I can see your house from here."
Oh man, I'm laughing because it's so stupid.
Yeah,
but it's funny. That's what a joke is. It's supposed to be funny. So,
all right, I think this might be the last one because it's a long one. So I hope it's a good one. I haven't really read very far, but there's a lot of cussing in it, so I'm assuming it's a good one.
All right, just lay it on us. You heathen.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be we sinning tonight.
we
two Mennonites sinning tonight.
You're on fire.
A priest is out on a fishing boat trying his luck. The captain is pretty rough, but he's a nice guy and good at his job. With his coaching, the priest hauls in a very large fish. "That's a huge son of a bitch." "Language," the priest snips. "I'm sorry, Father," the captain says, thinking fast. "That's what the fish species is called, a son of a bitch." The priest accepts it since he doesn't know anything about fish and takes his catch back to the abbey. On the way, he gets a call that the Pope is going to visit that night. He figures it's meant to be. He gives the fish to the Mother Superior and says, "Please go clean this son of a bitch so we can serve it to his eminence." "Father, language." "It's okay, that's the kind of fish." The Mother Superior cleans the fish, then takes it to the kitchen. She tells the cook, please bake this son of a bitch so we can serve it to the Pope's visit." The cook flips out, but the name is explained, so he lets it go and makes a wonderful dish. The Pope arrives, does some blessings, and goes into the dining room. The fish is amazing. He asks where they got it. "I caught the son of a bitch," the priest says proudly. "And I cleaned the son of a bitch," the Mother Superior adds. "And I cooked the son of a bitch," the cook says, "just for your visit." The Pope's eyebrows raise. He looks from the cook to the Mother Superior to the priest. He finishes his wine, pushes his empty plate away, scoops his chair back, and puts his feet up on the table. "You know," he says, "you fuckers are all right." And because I'm getting these from Reddit, there are hundreds of these jokes. So it's oh wait, no, 56, and I'm at the bottom. Never mind. I was scrolling for a long time.
Well, that was a good way to end.
And to send us into Easter weekend.
And oh man, a great way to end the show. Yes, Easter weekend. It's Good Friday.
Yeah, it is. And so far with those jokes, it's been a great Friday.
Man, well, Marcelo.
One quick one.
Oh,
why does Jesus? Why are the majority of Jesus' followers women? This is more of a visual one for you, but
okay. Why?
Because he was hung like this.
All right, Marcelo.
Okay. Yeah,
well,
let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. But before we do, and before you burn in hell, Marcelo, I just gotta tell our listeners, find us on our Instagram. You can find us on Instagram. That's where we're most active. So send us messages there. Write to us at simpletimespodcast@gmail.com, and you'll be featured in the Simple Shoutouts. We are on X. We're on YouTube now. You can listen to the podcast there. And did I tell everyone where to email us? Yes, we did. Yes, I did.
Nah, if not, say it again.
Simpletimespodcast@gmail.com. Send us your messages there if you want to be featured on the show. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
No, I don't think so. Did you want to get rebaptized after all these jokes?
No.
Man, if this is hell, it sure is wet. It's raining out there now.
Oh man, I can't believe it just started raining. Yeah. Well, that storm's a brewing, so
I guess so. That's one hell of a storm. I better go hang my raincoat.
Why is everything you say so funny?